So there's no probation, basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, no probation and no conviction, I'm okay.
Yeah, okay. Because what they're saying is that you have no new violations, you have no new criminal charges.
Right.
No new major moving violations. 1 day driving school, and then cover the cost of it, and they will amend it to a negligence driving too.
That's the current offer.
Yes, that's the current offer.
Right.
And it sort of puts a pause on it for 6 months.
Right.
And if you're able to do those things, they'll amend it at the end of 6 months. I will ask them if they're willing to dismiss it at the end of 6 months.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Or dismiss it after the 6 months.
Yes. Yeah. So it's so that's the current offer, is that we kick this out 6 months and they'll dismiss it and they will amend it at the end of it. I'll ask them if they're willing to dismiss it at the end of it. You don't have to come back to court though. If you're able to do these conditions and you can provide documentation, it will be dismissed.
6 months from now.
6 months from when you enter into this agreement.
That's still like a probation, isn't it?
It's not probation in the sense of you have to check in with anybody.
I mean, I'm looking for like a straight dismissal.
Okay.
I do their driving class or something, and then, I do their 1 day driving class and then they just dismiss it. I'm not looking for any type of where I have a time frame, and if I do one thing wrong, I'm going to be held accountable, because it's, it just doesn't work in my favor.
Okay.
I can't wait 6 months. I can't be on a walking on the edge for 6 months. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They have to. There's no evidence. They can't. There's nothing they can do.
There's a police officer who will
This
testify.
committed perjury. That should be in prison for 10 years.
He hasn't committed perjury.
He has committed perjury.
He hasn't committed perjury yet. He hasn't committed perjury.
I mean, I have several videos showing his statement doesn't match what actually happened. What are you pulling me over for?
For passing that person, for going faster.
But you didn't see me. You didn't see me. So
And you failed to stop. A complete stop.
That's
12th and Poplar.
That's not true.
It is.
That's not
You
true.
did not make a complete stop.
And I didn't stop here either, right?
Well, you're pulled over, aren't you?
What is your name?
Brett Jacoby.
Okay. What's your badge?
1460.
Okay.
Can I have your insurance and your registration, please? So you passed somebody because you believe they were going 5 miles an hour.
They were going 5 miles an hour.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to get out of my car and search my car because I don't have everything in order. Is that okay?
You're what?
I need to go through my car to find what you're asking for.
You don't have your insurance?
I have it. It's in my car. I need to find it.
I don't need an attitude from you.
Oh, cool. I don't need to be pulled over by you for nonsense because I told you I wasn't breaking the law. I passed a guy. I told you that. And if you don't like that, well, that's it.
And then you failed to stop. Make a complete
You sound like a liar. You sound like a fucking liar.
Okay. Do you not have your insurance?
I have my insurance. I'm going to call your superior in 5 seconds.
Okay. Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to roll up this window and lock.
So what you're charged with is that you drove a vehicle in willful or wanton disregard for the safety of persons or property. What the officer is going to get up on the stand and say is that you were following too closely. You were going, from his perspective, above the speed limit. Now we can challenge that because he didn't clock how fast you were going. You're allowed to legally pass. That's not an issue. But you were also driving near a school and near a park. And so from the officer's perspective, and clearly from the prosecutor's perspective, because they've moved forward with this far, they think that they'll be able to convince a jury that you drove in willful or wanton disregard for the safety of persons because you were driving fast by a park. That's all they need to prove.
First of all, that there was no kids in that school that day.
And that's what I will draw out at from cross-examination if they put the cop on.
Basically, what I'm already saying, he's already lied. He
hasn't lied. He said there could have been kids at the school. Wanton and willful disregard doesn't require him to prove that there were kids.
No, what I read in his statement that there were kids that day. out in the area.
He said he showed no regard to the fact that Hawthorne Elementary and the Everett Boys and Girls Club, where there are adults and children present, as it was a school day at the time of the incident. He obviously had to speed up and to pass a vehicle, which I believe was unnecessary and dangerous due to the school and the Boys and Girls Club being nearby. He was also following too close to the passenger car in front of him, where I believed he could have easily collided into it if the vehicle had to make a sudden stop.
I mean, bottom.
That's what he's gonna say if they put him.
He can say whatever he wants. I'm just not taking the conviction. I won't do it.
Okay.
I'll renounce my citizenship, in the courtroom. I kid you not. I'm done with this country. I'm done with the laws here. I'm done with everything. I'm not willing to take any type of,
Okay.
So if I have to tell the judge I'm going to renounce my citizenship, I'm going to do it because I'm just tired of it.
The process of me giving up my U.S. citizenship. Yes, I am no longer a U.S. citizen. That's crazy. So before I get into the reason why I decided to give up my citizenship, I just want to talk to you about the process, which it's really not that bad. First thing, you go into the U.S. Embassy of whatever country you're in, and you go under loss of nationality. I'm not sure if that's the same in all of the countries of the U.S. embassies, but I know the one in Bern here in Switzerland, it says loss of nationality. You have 2 forms you have to print out and fill them out and whatnot. Plus you have to gather additional documents, which are your birth certificate. If you don't have a U.S. birth certificate, but you have U.S. Counselor of Birth Abroad, definitely show that as well, because that's pretty much the same as a birth certificate. Your American passport bio page, all of the other foreign passport bio pages, your U.S. certificate of naturalization if you have one, your U.S. certificate of citizenship if you have one. So after you fill all of these forms out, you scan all these documents and you send them back via email. They give you a particular email and what to put in the subject line. So for me, it took about 48 hours for them to respond to me.